Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SW Metro official channel.
In a shocking confrontation that no one saw coming, Paedon Brown, the outspoken son of Kody and Christine Brown, engaged in a heated physical altercation with his father, Kody Brown, leaving his sister Gwendlyn utterly speechless. The incident, which was partially captured on video and later discussed in online forums, has sparked a firestorm of reactions from fans, with many debating the underlying tensions that led to such a volatile outburst. The confrontation reportedly took place during a family gathering that was meant to foster unity but instead exposed the deep fractures within the Brown family. Eyewitnesses claim that the argument began as a verbal disagreement over Kody's treatment of his children, particularly those from his marriage to Christine, before escalating into a physical fight. Paedon, who has been vocal in the past about his strained relationship with his father, allegedly lost his temper after Kody made what he perceived as a dismissive comment about his mother's decision to leave the family. The exchange quickly turned hostile, with Paedon shouting expletives before lunging at Kody, forcing other family members to intervene. What made this moment even more shocking was Gwendlyn's reaction. Known for her candid commentary on family dynamics, especially through her YouTube channel, Gwendlyn is rarely at a loss for words. Yet, as the altercation unfolded, she stood frozen, her expression a mix of horror and disbelief. Later, in a since-deleted tweet, she hinted at the emotional toll of the incident, writing, "Some things should stay private, but this was too much." Fans have speculated that her silence speaks volumes about the severity of the fight, with many wondering if this marks a point of no return for the already fractured Brown family relationships. The fallout from the incident has been immense, with social media exploding in debates about parental favoritism, unresolved trauma, and the pressures of growing up in a polygamous family under public scrutiny. Some fans have expressed sympathy for Paedon, arguing that his outburst was a long time coming given Kody's perceived neglect and emotional manipulation. Others, however, have condemned his actions, insisting that violence is never the answer, regardless of the provocation. Meanwhile, Kody has remained uncharacteristically quiet, leading to speculation that he may be grappling with guilt or, conversely, preparing to further distance himself from his children. Christine, who has been a pillar of strength since leaving Kody, has not publicly addressed the incident, though sources close to the family suggest she is deeply saddened by the ongoing conflict. This moment has also reignited discussions about the broader issues within the Brown family, particularly the way Kody's favoritism toward Robyn and her children has alienated his other wives and kids. Many fans argue that Paedon's rage is a symptom of years of neglect, pointing to past episodes where Kody seemed disengaged from his older children. The fact that this altercation happened in front of other family members, rather than behind closed doors, suggests that tensions have reached a boiling point where civility can no longer be maintained. Some viewers have even questioned whether the family can ever truly reconcile, or if this public blow-up signifies the final unraveling of Kody's polygamous experiment. As the drama continues to unfold, one thing is certain: this shocking Kolardora moment will go down in sister-wives history as one of the most raw and unfiltered displays of the Brown family's dysfunction. Whether it leads to deeper introspection and healing or further division remains to be seen, but for now, fans are left stunned, Gwendlyn is left speechless, and the internet is buzzing with theories about what this means for the future of the Browns. In the unfolding drama of the Brown family saga, a moment erupted that no one, neither fans, insiders, nor even the family members themselves, ever imagined would take place, a moment that would forever be etched in the memory of sister wives followers and the Brown children alike, the shocking Kolardora moment when Paedon Brown, son of Christine and Kody, finally lost control of years of pent-up emotions and clashed physically with his father, leaving his sister Gwendlyn utterly speechless, as though time itself had stopped around her while the storm of family dysfunction finally exploded in plain sight, and as onlookers gasped at what was happening, the simmering resentments that had built up over more than a decade of fractured relationships, neglect, favoritism, and emotional manipulation seemed to condense into that one unforgettable confrontation. A symbolic battle between father and son that represented not just Paedon's own personal grievances but also the collective frustrations of many of Kody's children who for years had whispered among themselves about the cracks in their father's facade, a facade that had once portrayed him as the patriarch of a grand plural family living an idealistic version of celestial marriage, when in reality that image was collapsing under the weight of bitterness, jealousy, favoritism toward Robin, and the estrangement of his once devoted wives and children. And on this day, in this shocking Kolardora moment, all of that brokenness was embodied in the raised voices, clenched fists, and gasps of disbelief that filled the room, beginning when Kody entered the gathering already in a heightened state of agitation, his voice booming as he berated Christine for encouraging the kids to distance themselves from him, insisting that loyalty was owed to him as their father, his face flushed with anger as he accused Paedon of disrespect and betrayal. And though Paedon had always been known as the tall, sometimes playful, sometimes brash son who occasionally clashed with his sisters, what no one expected was that he would rise to meet his father's rage head-on, his frame towering over Kody's as he stepped closer, his voice deep, unwavering, and trembling not with fear but with conviction as he said, "You don't get to demand respect you never gave," words that hit Kody like a stone to the chest. Words that Christine and Janelle had both wanted to say for years but never dared in such raw and unfiltered terms, and as the words echoed in the tense air, Kody's face twisted in disbelief, his arms flailing as he insisted that Paedon was being poisoned against him, that Robin was the only wife who ever truly respected the family order, and that his children had been brainwashed by mothers who resented his authority, but Paedon, no longer willing to play the role of silent observer in his father's self-pity narrative, took a step closer, his large frame now casting a shadow over Kody, and that was the moment when Gwendlyn, who had been quietly sitting nearby, watching as her family's latest meeting descended into shouting, felt her heart stop because she knew something was about to happen that could never be undone, her eyes wide, her breath shallow, her thoughts spinning between disbelief and dread, because Paedon's body language told her he had reached his limit, the years of anger boiling over, the pain of seeing his siblings ignored, his mother dismissed, and his own feelings invalidated, finally spilling out in the most primal way possible. And then it happened. Kody jabbed a finger toward Paedon's chest, shouting something about obedience and respect, and Paedon swatted his hand away, a sharp gesture that caused a collective gasp in the room, and before anyone could intervene, Kody lunged forward, perhaps out of anger or desperation, but Paedon, younger, stronger, and fueled by years of unresolved pain, shoved him back with such force that Kody stumbled, his body slamming against a chair, the crash echoing like a thunderclap, and in that split second, Gwendlyn's world slowed down, her jaw dropping, her eyes darting from her father's stunned face to her brother's clenched fists, and she couldn't speak, couldn't breathe, couldn't comprehend how the fragile, dysfunctional family dynamic had escalated into actual violence, yet she also knew, deep down, that this fight wasn't just about a father and son, it was about the years of favoritism that had left her and many of her siblings feeling unwanted, the countless times Kody had chosen Robin and her children over the rest of the family, the dismissive comments, the emotional outbursts, the Christmases missed, the phone calls ignored, the way he had tried to guilt-trip them into loyalty while never truly showing up when they needed him, and in that shocking Kolardora moment, Paedon became the voice of all the children who had been too afraid to stand up, his fight with Kody a physical manifestation of every unspoken grievance, every silent tear shed behind closed doors, every late-night conversation between siblings about how their father just didn't care the way he used to, and while some rushed in to break up the scuffle, Christine crying out, Janelle trying to step between them, even Robin gasping in horror, Gwendlyn sat frozen, speechless, unable to move as she processed the surreal sight of her brother and father colliding like two storms, a moment so raw, so shocking, that it stripped away any illusion that the Brown family's issues were just about differences in opinion or misunderstandings. No, this was proof that the fractures had grown so deep that reconciliation might be impossible, and as Kody regained his footing, his voice trembling with both fury and humiliation, he shouted at Paedon to leave, to never set foot in his house again if he couldn't show respect, but Paedon, his chest heaving, his hands still shaking, didn't back down, instead locking eyes with his father and saying in a low, steady voice, "Respect is earned, Dad. And you lost it the moment you abandoned us," a sentence so sharp and final that it cut through the room like glass, leaving silence in its wake, a silence in which Gwendlyn, still utterly speechless, felt tears sting her eyes as she realized that her brother had said what she herself had always wanted to say but never dared, And though the moment was violent, messy, and heartbreaking, it was also, in a strange way, cathartic, because it laid bare the truth that had been hidden for too long. That the Brown family's unity was an illusion shattered by years of neglect and favoritism, and now the children, led in this moment by Paedon's explosive courage, were finally voicing the pain they had carried for so long, even if it meant a fight that left everyone shaken to the core.